So we're talking about Elon Musk, money, and politics, and we have a little bit more information about who actually won his lottery. Have a look at this.
My name's Ekaterina Diesler. I'm from Green Bay, Wisconsin. I did exactly what Elon Musk told everyone to do. Sign a petition, refer friends and family, vote, and now I have $1 million.
So I was in the audience, and my name was called as the recipient of a check for $1 million. And I didn't believe it. I was nervous. I was shaking. And then I got up on stage and seeing it in person, I mean, it was incredible because you never think that you're going to receive things like this. I'm a college student, and I'm the chairman of the Wisconsin College Republicans. And we do the door knocking efforts, canvassing, and I know how hard it is to get people to vote.
So those were the winners talking about, oh, well, I just had to do what Elon Musk says, tell my friends, vote, this kind of stuff. And then we figure out that one of them is a Wisconsin Republican, the college chairman, right? So it says Wisconsin College Republicans chairman received one of Elon Musk's $1 million checks. And the first question that comes to mind, I'm sure you have it too, is this whole thing fixed? These questions came up before when Musk pulled this stunt in Pennsylvania. It was under question there. It was under question again in Wisconsin. And this whole thing just frankly smells illegal. We're going to see if this comes up again in every state, if he's going to try this stunt. I mean, I'm against this kind of stuff myself. I mean, like I said, it just smells illegal. And whether or not it is, I'll leave it up to courts to decide. I'll just say this. You also have the issue of whether or not this thing is fixed. Take a look at the winners when they got their checks.
Thank you. All right. Hello. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right.
So if you noticed, they weren't like super excited. They were actually relatively calm. And for those of you who've ever watched a game show, so I'll give you the example of The Price is Right. If you're an American, you know exactly the show it is. It comes on in the mornings and basically, you know, hey, come on down. You're going to be on The Price is Right. And people are cheering and jumping up and down, right? And then when they, you know, win whatever competition thing and they get a car, people are pretty excited. And that's just a car. Imagine that you got a check for $1 million. And full disclosure, I'd be pretty thrilled if I got a free car. So I'd be jumping up and down for sure. I mean, I think that's a natural reaction, let alone a check for $1 million that you supposedly surprisingly won. So the reaction of the people, now we need to figure out who they are, comes into question. So he's a college Republican dude. The woman, I think she's a graphic designer, but doesn't necessarily indicate that she is part of any of the campaign or something like that. But it is something to be aware of. If you want to see the situation of the last, you know, when they give the checks and stuff like that, you can watch my last video. The event was rather small. You know, the people in attendance, did they really believe they had a chance to win said lottery or not? I don't know. You'd have to ask them. But this is where, like, you could run into legal problems if you promised, you know, hey, y'all had a free chance, and you ask people, oh, did you think you have a free chance, etc. And it turns out the whole thing was fixed. Who knows? The person who won, Nick Jacobs, he already closed his Twitter. You guys can see it there. And then there is a picture of Trump, etc. So that's, again, a college Republican. Musk is also running a $20 thing. Have a look at this.
What we're announcing is kind of like a block captain program where somebody can sign up to knock on doors in their zip code and encourage people to make people aware that there is a vote and then aware of how important the vote is. So you can sign up to be a kind of a block captain for your zip code on the America PAC website right now. Yeah, and if you do, it's like basically $20 for just taking a photo with somebody. It's pretty straightforward. You just knock on doors in your neighborhood, and give them either a digital or a paper, you know, picture of, you know, Justice Brad Schimmel. It can be an approximation. It doesn't have to be exact, but. And they just have to say thumbs up and hold a picture of Judge Schimmel. And that's it. And you get $20. It's pretty easy. It's easy money. So, but the whole point of it is just to make people aware of the election and say that there is an election. It's on Tuesday, and it's super important. Please vote. So.
So you can see Musk described it. It's like, take a picture, put you a thumbs up next to the candidate. And it's like, how's this legal? This is some details of it. It says sign up to be a block captain in support of Super Judge Brad Schimmel. I feel like Musk is going to try to do this in other states. I mean, he's done it in Pennsylvania, now Wisconsin. Where else will he go? You will earn $20 for each Wisconsin resident you recruit, and they receive $20 too. Now, the fine print is interesting if you read it, because this is where they try to skirt the law. It says here, no civic action is required to be compensated for submitting a voting location photo. Please note that Wisconsin law prohibits electioneering within 100 feet of the entrance building containing a polling place. So they're trying to make the case that this is all about free speech. We have the freedom to send whatever photos we want, and I guess we can pay money for people to exercise their free speech of sending themselves and their friends photos of thumbs up of a particular political candidate. I mean, the whole thing smells bad to me. That's just my opinion on this stuff. Every state's going to have a different, ruling on how we determine what is free speech, what is not. And in Wisconsin, it's all about, are you giving something of value, right? In this situation, say Musk is giving money, and then are they required to vote, register, or whatever, right? So my personal opinion is I think we need to change laws on this stuff. But I also want to be fair on sort of what Musk says in his defense, and sort of how there is frankly too much money in politics, no matter who you ask, or sort of which side you're on is a better way to say it. So what are some of Musk's interests? So for example, lately he's been tweeting this out. Anyone who scrawls a swastika on a Tesla has obviously committed a hate crime. So Musk has been jumping into politics lately because he wants laws to change to literally, I guess, make it a hate crime to hate on Tesla. And then he accuses people all the time that if you go to protests and stuff like that, or if you don't like Elon, that you must be paid. Now, he actually did tweet out some evidence today of the whole paid thing, and I want to go over it because I think it's an interesting discussion. So this is Elon Musk. This account that he interacts with sometimes called Natalie Winters. And it says here, Tesla protest organizer, individual deleted a webpage promising $200 reimbursement for anti-Trump Musk protesters. The form of request money is still up. So it's not exactly for protesters per se. And I want to make that clear because they always say stuff that's a bit misleading. So it looks like there was money involved. I want to be clear on that also. And this is how they define it. And again, we're talking about money in politics in the USA. And I want to hear from people around the world if you guys have this kind of situation. So here it says, for example, during each congressional recess, individual project can reimburse individual groups for eligible expenses, right? Up to $100 per group. So this is a different situation than what Musk is doing, in my opinion. But I'll let courts decide, but I'm just showing you, it has to do with like, okay, are we paying someone to do something? Well, here it's more like they're saying you can use money for hosting an event. That's how I read this. Like, for example, it says, this form for requesting reimbursements for standard event hosting costs. So it could be venue fees, AV equipment, right? So audiovisual stuff, food and non-alcoholic drinks, and promotional invite materials, right? Also gas can be involved, travel costs, and then printing costs for basically what do you guys call it? Protest signs, or handout kind of stuff. So it says messages to lobby your federal level representative, message to criticize Trump administration, and cardboard directions for your cardboard depictions of your members of Congress. Now, I want to make this really clear. I've been to several political events, and if you're watching this, you might have as well. And I'll give you an example. So back in 2016, I lived in LA, and I went to the Bernie website, and you're just always kind of curious, where's Bernie? I'd like to go hear him speak. And I went down to USC campus to hear Bernie speak. Nobody paid me to go see Bernie. I was, and in fact, I would give money to Bernie, in fact, back then. And that's not unusual to give money to a campaign. And when you get there, it's organized. So some people working the campaign could be paid. Some people are volunteer. Now, me as an attendee, I'm not paid at all. Someone does give me a sign. That's why I'm showing you guys this. So the sign had to be paid and printed by somebody, right? I always assume that. But I'm not paid to attend said things. And I want to really make it clear, because Elon Musk always acts like people that don't like him, or in another situation, Elon Musk was tweeting out before that anyone who went to an AOC and Bernie event were all paid, and it was like 30,000 people or theoretically in Elon's mind all paid. If so, I guess Bernie owes me money from 2016, I guess. In this situation, also, the person sitting next to me, she has a Bernie t-shirt, and back in the day, she would have gone to the website and you probably buy the t-shirt for $25 or something like that. And you just assume some of the money's going to the campaign, and then you get a t-shirt. So, and every campaign does this kind of stuff. And the question that we have to ask ourselves is, where do we draw the line of what is free speech or not? This gets into U.S. laws. For those of you who are outside the U.S., you're like, what the heck is going on in America? And I want to hear what the heck is going on in your country, because it's interesting to talk about this stuff, because people do have a right to, vote for whoever they like. People have a right to not be coerced. People have a right to, not be intimidated. And I'm showing you guys this. This is super PAC stuff. So basic idea is that there are campaign finance limits on how much money I can give to an individual candidate. But in USA, that you can have a separate committee, political action committee, and I can give money to that. And I guess there's unlimited amounts of money on that. And basically the ruling is, I'm just pulling this guys up. A lot of people already know this stuff, but for those of you who don't know, it might be interesting. It's called Citizens United. And the basic idea would be that organizations are now kind of like people. And if we limit the amount of money organizations can spend, we're limiting their free speech just like people. And we don't want to limit free speech. That's the general argument. My opinion on this stuff is I'm with Feingold and McCain. I remember this a long time ago. So I actually met Russ Feingold. He was a senator of Wisconsin, one of my favorite politicians. I like McCain as well, full disclosure. I like both these guys because they hit on what, in my opinion, is the number one most important issue in U.S. politics. It's something that people don't talk about enough. It's just there's just too much money in politics, and we need to get it out of politics. And when you see this whole stuff that Musk has been doing lately, you realize how egregious it is. We've never seen it like this open and this crazy before. And I think it's only going to get worse because Musk is really pushing the limits of what he can and cannot do. Even if stuff that Musk does is illegal, it seems like, is anyone going to hold this guy accountable? That's the question. Today, though, the SEC says they're going to continue with the lawsuit against him. Basically, if you haven't been following the story, Musk will tweet out various things, right? And when you're a CEO of a publicly traded company, and if you're talking about, buying companies, selling companies, taking companies private, this kind of stuff, it has major implications for the markets. Or if you don't disclose things in time, meaning that, for example, if I'm buying up a company and I reach over the threshold where I have to publicly disclose it, I believe it's 5%. What if you wait too long? In this situation of buying Twitter, I think Musk waited 11 days too long in order to suppress the price so you could buy it cheaper. All of these kind of stuff that Musk do, he skirts the law all the time, and the way that he gets around it is just well, I'm Elon Musk and I'll just pay the fine and keep going about my way. That's where the culture and the sort of the politics in the USA has been going for a while now. It's sort of Trump plays that game as well. As long as I have money to buy off said people and I have enough people around me that to sort of encourage me to do said things to skirt the law, then I guess it's okay. But in my opinion, it's not okay. And that's why I do these guys videos with you and tell you what's going on. So, regarding the whole college Republican thing winning, in my opinion, I think the thing looks like it's fixed. And I think there's just too many shady things going on with Musk and the gang. So that's what's up. I want to hear your thoughts on this, and I'll catch you all in the next video.